NCAA March Madness is one of the craziest things, guys. You have 64 teams from 4 different regions competing in a one-match knockout style competition to crown a winner. And so because March Madness is going on right now, we're gonna do the same thing but with football clubs. 64 football clubs from the top 4 European leagues in the most insane tournament ever. Now, if you're not 100% sure exactly how March Madness works, it's basically 4 brackets of 16 teams each. And each bracket is its own division, so we're gonna have 4 divisions as well: the Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, and La Liga. And then all those football clubs will compete against each other within their own league or division until we get to the last 4. But the first thing that we have to do is figure out which league is going where, because there's 2 sides of the bracket, 2 on the left side and 2 on the right side. This is going to be very important when it gets down to the last 4, because the 2 remaining clubs from the left side and the 2 remaining clubs from the right side of the bracket will be from different leagues. Whoever this wheel lands on will be the top division on the left side of the bracket, and that league will be Serie A from Italy. And now the second league on the left side of the bracket as well, it will be, is it La Liga? It's La Liga. This means that Serie A and La Liga are on the left side of the bracket, and we're gonna have 1 club from Italy and 1 club from Spain from the left side of the bracket in the last 4 play against each other. And that also means that the Premier League and the Bundesliga are on the right side of the bracket, so we're gonna have 1 Premier League club and 1 Bundesliga club also play against each other in the last 4 on the right side. I hope this is all making sense. It's a really basic bracket. You have 16 clubs, then 16 clubs, 16 clubs, and 16 clubs. Now that we got the 4 divisions figure out, let me explain to you how the seeding works. In each of the 4 divisions, or leagues in our case, we are taking the current 16 clubs in each league. And the knockout matchups are played out in a very simple way. We'll use the Premier League as an example. So first place Liverpool would play 16th place West Ham. Then it's 8th versus 9th, 5th versus 12th, 4th versus 13th, 6th versus 11th, 3rd versus 14th, 7th versus 10th, and 2nd versus 15th. And that is exactly how it is across all 4 leagues. So some of the matchups are actually extremely brutal based on the current standings of every league. In the Premier League, 4th versus 13th is actually Chelsea versus Manchester United. So one of them will be gone in the first round. This type of one-match knockout bracket might cause a lot of upsets. Who knows the 4 clubs that we're gonna have left at the end? I got absolutely no idea. Let's begin our March Madness Football Edition tournament. We're going to start on the right side of the bracket with the Premier League and figure out which club will be representing the Premier League in the last 4. And the first matchup we begin with, it is 1st versus 16th. It is Liverpool versus West Ham. And the team that progresses, it is Liverpool, and West Ham is eliminated. I do want to let you know that every single match is just going to be played at a neutral ground. The next one is 8th versus 9th in the Premier League. It is Fulham versus Aston Villa, and the team that progresses on penalties in the most dramatic fashion ever, it is Fulham, and Aston Villa are already gone. Next up, it is 5th versus 12th, Man City versus Crystal Palace. The team that progresses, it is the 5th seed. It is Manchester City. You wanted March Madness? Here you go. 4th versus 13th, Chelsea versus Manchester United. One of them will be gone, and it's the 4th seed. It's Chelsea. Ahmad in extra time. The 13th seed in Manchester United progresses. I cannot believe Chelsea is gone this early. We're getting some shocks already. It's 6 versus 11, Newcastle versus Brentford. The team that progresses, more shocks. More and more shocks. Brentford in the 86th minute. The 6th seed in the Premier League is also gone, and seed 11 moves on. You would also think that 3rd versus 14th would be pretty standard, and 3rd would be the most favored, but it's Forest versus Spurs, because Spurs are currently in 14th in the Prem. Who is the one that progresses? You see what I mean? There goes the 3rd seed as well. There goes Forest. It is Spurs. Jed Spence in the 101st minute. 7th versus 10th, Brighton versus Bournemouth. The team that moves on penalties. I wanted Bournemouth to progress, man. Bournemouth is out to Kirkes missed the pen. Brighton, the 7th seed, they advance. The last first round matchup, 2nd versus 15th, Arsenal versus Everton, who are currently in 15th in the Premier League. The team that advances, it is Arsenal. 16 clubs started in the Prem. We're down to the last 8 in the Premier League division. And it will be Liverpool versus Fulham. So 1st versus 8th, 5th versus 13th, Man City versus Man United, 11th versus 14th, Brentford versus Spurs, and 7th versus 2nd, Brighton versus Arsenal. We continue figuring out which Premier League club will be the last club remaining in the last 4. It's 1st versus 8th, Liverpool versus Fulham. Can Fulham continue this run? Yes, they can. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! This is a massive, massive result. The 8th seed Fulham, they are progressing and they knock Liverpool out of the entire competition. I think this result just flipped the whole tournament upside down. Liverpool is out. 5th versus 13th, Man City versus Manchester United. The club that progresses. Manchester United, they were close, but Manchester City are the ones that advance. 11th versus 14th, Brentford versus Spurs. Can Brentford do the same thing as Fulham did? Let's find out. Yes, no, no. In the 106th minute, son. Spurs continue and Brentford goes home. The last quarterfinal matchup in the Premier League division. It is 7th in Brighton versus 2nd in Arsenal. Who are the team that progresses? Oh, dude, there's no way. There's no way. We've had Liverpool that's eliminated, and now Arsenal is eliminated as well. 7th seed Brighton. They are in the last 4 in the Premier League division. That means it is Fulham, the 8th seed, versus Manchester City, the 5th seed, and then the 14th seed in Spurs versus the 7th seed in Brighton. 8th versus 5th. Man City versus Fulham. Who advances? Oh, no. I mean, if you're a Man City fan, congratulations. Man City, they eliminate Fulham, but what an incredible performance by Fulham, guys. Who will be playing Manchester City in the Premier League division final? Will it be Brighton, the 7th seed, or Spurs, the 14th seed? Let's find out. Oh my gosh, man. Brighton is on a run in the Premier League. They eliminated Arsenal, they eliminated Spurs, and they are in the final of the Premier League division. Which club will win the Premier League division and go to the last 4 of the entire competition? Will it be Man City, the 5th seed? Will it be Brighton, the 7th seed? 3, 2, 1. It will be Brighton on penalties. It's Brighton. Brighton win the Premier League division, and now Brighton is in the last 4 of the entire 4-league tournament. On the right side of the bracket, they will face the winner of the Bundesliga division, so let's go and figure out who that will be. Current 1st versus current 16th in the Bundesliga. It is Bayern versus Bochum. Who is progressing? Surely it is Bayern. Yes, it is Bayern convincingly. Lots of intriguing matchups in the Bundesliga. 8th versus 9th. It's Augsburg versus Wolfsburg. Who is progressing to the next round? It's Wolfsburg, and Augsburg is gone. 5th versus 12th. It is Leipzig versus Bremen. Probably Leipzig that advance, and it is Leipzig that progress. We got 4th versus 13th. It is Frankfurt versus Union Berlin. And the team that advances, there's another upset. There is another upset. 13th seed Union Berlin goes through. I don't know how this happened, but Eintracht Frankfurt is eliminated so early. The current 6th seed in Freiburg is taking on 11th seed in Dortmund. Can Dortmund make a run here as the 11th seed? Dude, Dortmund is out. Dortmund is completely gone. Oh my goodness. Eggestein in the 92nd minute. That's the end of the road for Dortmund in the video. But hey, if you're a Freiburg fan, dude, this is great for you. There's some crazy things happening in the Bundesliga this year. Like Mainz, they're currently in 3rd place, so they are the 3rd seed, and they gotta take on the 14th seed in Hoffenheim. The team that progresses, it is the 3rd seed in Mainz. Now it's time for 7 versus 10 in the Bundesliga. Borussia Mönchengladbach are in 7th and Stuttgart are in 10th. The club that progresses, it's the 10th seed. Stuttgart not having a wonderful campaign this year, but it's good enough to make it to the next round. And our last round, Bundesliga division round of 16 matchup, it is 2nd versus 15th. It's Bayer Leverkusen versus St. Pauli. And the club that Oh my gosh. I couldn't even finish my sentence. Oh my goodness. This is a shock. Bayer Leverkusen is gone, and Palacios missed a penalty in the 89th. Bayer Leverkusen is eliminated. 8 clubs remaining. It will be 1st versus 8th, Bayern Munich versus Wolfsburg. 5th versus 13th, Leipzig versus Union Berlin. 6th versus 3rd, Freiburg versus Mainz. And 10th versus 15th, Stuttgart versus St. Pauli. I thought we saw some major drama in the Premier League division, but the Bundesliga division has not disappointed whatsoever. 1st versus 8th, Bayern versus Wolfsburg. The team that progresses, it is Wolfsburg. And just like Liverpool in the Premier League division, Bayern Munich is also gone. Wolfsburg, the 8th seed. 5th versus 13th, RB Leipzig versus Union Berlin. The club that progresses, RB Leipzig. And the run by Union Berlin, it ends here. 6th versus 3rd, Freiburg versus Mainz. One of them will be in the last 4 of the Bundesliga division. And that club will be Mainz, guys. I mean, I get that Mainz is currently in 3rd place in the Bundesliga, but this is still an incredible run by them. To get to the last 4 of the Bundesliga division, 10th seed versus 15th seed, Stuttgart versus St. Pauli. The club that progresses, there goes St. Pauli. It was a nice run while it lasted, but it ends here as well. The 10th seed in Stuttgart, they are in the last 4. 4 clubs remain. Wolfsburg versus Leipzig, 8th versus 5th. Mainz versus Stuttgart, 3rd versus 10th. I think this one's close, guys. Leipzig versus Wolfsburg, 8th versus 5th to get to the Bundesliga division final. And the club that will go there, it will be RB Leipzig. Who will be facing RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga division finale? Will it be the 3rd seed in Mainz or the 10th seed in Stuttgart? The club, it will be Mainz on penalties. Mainz, they want to go all the way. Oh my. Seriously, I did not expect this, man. I did not expect Mainz to make it this far. The unlikely Premier League division winner in Brighton is awaiting an opponent on the right side of the bracket in the last 4. And it will either be the 5th seed in RB Leipzig or the 3rd seed in Mainz. The club to face Brighton, there is absolutely no shot, man. On penalties again. Mainz win the Bundesliga division as the 3rd seed. I think Mainz winning the Bundesliga division is a less likely probability than Brighton winning the Premier League division. But here we are. On the right side of the bracket, we have figured out our last 2 clubs. One from the Premier League, one from the Bundesliga. We know that it will be Brighton versus Mainz. So now we got to figure out the 2 other divisions on the left side of the bracket, Serie A and La Liga. Let's begin figuring out the left side of the bracket now, starting with the Serie A Italian division. 1st versus 16th, it is Inter Milano versus the current 16th place side in Lecce, and it should be Inter Milano. And oh my, what a win, 5-0. But the next one is 8th versus 9th, and 8th versus 9th has been a very intriguing matchup in every single division so far. 8th, Fiorentina, 9th, AC Milan. Who is progressing? 9th place progresses this time convincingly. 8th seed Fiorentina is out. AC Milan advances. 5th versus 12th is next. 5th is Juventus. 12th is Genoa. Many have been saying in recent times that this is one of the worst Juventus sides they've seen in a very, very long time. Can they progress by Genoa? Just barely, man. Oh my gosh, they scraped by into the next round. We got 4th versus 13th, Bologna versus 13th place Como. Not a pushover by any means, but it is Bologna, the 4th place that progresses. Continuing forward, the current 6th seed in Lazio versus the current 11th seed in Torino from Serie A. The club that advances, it is the 6th seed, and Torino is also gone. 3rd versus 14th, Atalanta versus Hellas Verona. Atalanta for sure the favorite, and it wasn't even close. Maybe 7th versus 10th will be closer. Roma is the 7th seed, Udinese is the 10th seed, and the club that progresses, it is the 7th seed in Roma. The last round of 16 matchup in the Italian division, Cagliari, the 15th seed versus the 2nd seed in Napoli. It should be Napoli, and it is Napoli. Through the first round in the Italian division, all the favorite clubs won and progressed. The first time we've seen that, and that sets up huge matches in the quarterfinals of the Italian division. It will be Inter versus AC Milan, 1st versus 9th, 5th versus 4th, Juventus versus versus Bologna, 6th versus 3rd Lazio versus Atalanta, and 7th versus 2nd Roma versus Napoli. The Battle of Milan. Can AC Milan eliminate their counterparts, or vice versa? Can Inter do that and go to the semi-finals of the Italian division? The team that progresses, it will not be AC Milan. AC Milan is gone out of the entire competition. Inter moves on. How about 5th versus 4th, Juve versus Bologna? Bologna is the seed number 4. Juve is seed number 5. The team that progresses, wow! Juventus is also making a run. They eliminate the 4th seed, and Juve as the 5th seed is in the semifinals of the Italian division. 6th versus 3rd, Atalanta the 3rd seed, Lazio the 6th seed. A very challenging affair for a spot in the last 4. Atalanta, the 3rd seed, prevails. Lazio goes home empty-handed. And the last one, 2nd versus 7th, Napoli versus Roma. The club that progresses, it is the 2nd seed. Roma is also eliminated. And so the last 4 clubs that remain in the Italian division, my friends. The number 1 seed, Inter Milan, will take on the 5th seed in Juventus, while the 3rd seed in Atalanta will take on the 2nd seed in Napoli. Is Juve a capable enough side to eliminate Inter Milan and go to the Italian division Serie A final? Let's find out. Inter or Juve? Inter. There goes Juve, gone. So will Inter Milan face the number 2 seed in Napoli or the number 3 seed in Atalanta in the Serie A Italian division final? Who is going to go there? It will be 1 versus 2. Inter versus Napoli. Atalanta, a nice run, but they are eliminated. Honestly, guys, pretty surprising that it's 1 versus 2 in the final of the Italian division. But here we are. It's 1 versus 2 for a spot in the last 4 of the entire competition to represent the Italian division Serie A and be the winner. It will not be Inter Milan. It will be Romelu Lukaku with Napoli. And we still don't have a number 1 seed in the last 4. Brighton is the 7th seed. Mainz was the 3rd seed, and now Napoli is the 2nd seed. The question remains, though, who will Napoli face in the semi-final in the last 4 on the left side of the bracket? Well, they will face the winner of the La Liga division, and we need to figure out who that is. Let's begin finding the La Liga division champion, and we are starting with 1st versus 16th currently in La Liga. 1st is Barcelona at the time of this recording on March 20th, and 16th is Valencia. The one club that progresses. I think this is the biggest upset we've seen so far. This might be bigger than St. Pauli beating Bayer Leverkusen 15th versus 2nd. We had no shocks in the Italian division, but we start with a massive shock in Spain. Off to an absolutely fire start in La Liga, guys. Now it's 8th versus 9th. Celta Vigo, the 8th place side, versus Rayo Vallecano in 9th. And the team that progresses, Celta Vigo. I think we're gonna get a lot more unpredictable results in La Liga, guys, because 5th versus 12th, it's Villarreal in 5th, and Real Sociedad is the 12th seeded club. So who progresses here? You see, it was almost Real Sociedad. Almost, but Villarreal as the 5th place side, they advance. How about 4th versus 13th? Athletic Club Bilbao is 4th, and Girona is the 13th seeded club. I think Athletic Club Bilbao is by far the favorites here. You see what I mean? I told you, unpredictable results, man. Athletic Club Bilbao, the 4th seeded club, is gone, and Girona, through Miovski in extra time, advances. 2 huge upsets already in La Liga. Barca is gone, Athletic Club Bilbao is gone too. The number 6 seed in Real Betis versus the number 11 seed in Getafe, who is progressing to the next round. Getafe, it's... yeah, the 11th seed moves on. Real Betis with the GOAT Anthony. He came on in the 77th minute. Didn't have enough time to make an impact. Seed number 3 in Atletico Madrid, a giant, versus seed number 14 in Osasuna, the club that advances, the 3rd seeded club. Finally, we got a club that's supposed to progress. 7 versus 10 is definitely much closer, though. 7th is Mallorca, 10th is Sevilla. Who is moving on? Okay, Sevilla just got absolutely cooked. 4-1. What a scoreline. The last quarterfinal matchup of the Spanish division. Of course, it's 2 versus 15. It's Real Madrid versus Espanyol. We saw what happened in the Bundesliga between 2 and 15. We saw 1 versus 16 earlier in La Liga where Barca was eliminated. Can Real Madrid progress? Let's find out. Yes, they can. Pretty easily, pretty comfortably, actually. 4-1. 8 clubs remain in La Liga, the Spanish division. It will be 16th versus 8th, Valencia versus Celta Vigo. And 5th versus 13th, Villarreal versus Girona. 11th versus 3rd, Getafe will take on Atletico Madrid to cause another upset. And then the 7th seed, Mallorca, will try and play spoiler against the 2nd seed in Real Madrid. 16th versus 8th, Valencia versus Celta Vigo. It doesn't really matter who progresses because either story would be very, very special. But the club that does progress, and it becomes even more special, it's the 16th place side, Valencia, in the last 4 of the Spanish division. This is absolutely incredible. 5th versus 13th, Villarreal versus Girona for another spot in the semifinals of the Spanish division. The club that will advance, it will be the 5th seed in Villarreal. 3rd versus 11th, Atletico Madrid versus Getafe. Both clubs are looking to get to the final 4 of the Spanish division, but only one club can progress, and it will be Atletico Madrid in a very, very convincing manner. Only one spot remains in the Spanish division semifinals. It is 2nd versus 7th. 2nd, Real Madrid. Mallorca is trying to do something absolutely miraculous. Can they actually do it? They tried their best. They scored 2 goals, but conceded way more than 2. Only 4 clubs remain in the Spanish division in La Liga. It will be 16th seed versus 5th seed, Valencia versus Villarreal, and then 3rd versus 2nd, Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid once again. To get to the La Liga division final, will it be a 5th seed or a 16th seed? Villarreal versus Valencia. Let's find out. Who is it? Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness. We have a 16 seed that just went to the divisional finals. I'm looking through the sheets, and the highest team that we've seen go to a semifinal or a final was Brighton, and they were the 7th seed. But we have not seen a 16 seed make it this deep. Surely this has to be one of the biggest stories of the video. But who will Valencia face in the La Liga division final, guys? Well, it's either Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid. Trust me, their path is not easy, and it's not going to get any easier. The club that progresses. We have a rematch. 3, 2, 1. The club. Real Madrid. Mbappe, Valverde. Atletico Madrid are eliminated by Real, just like IRL once again. This Valencia squad got by Barcelona, Celta Vigo, and Villarreal to get here to the La Liga Spanish division final, but they have to face Real Madrid. Can they possibly win this one? I don't think so. I give them maybe a 5% chance. I'm gonna press the simulate button only once, and only once is what we do here. We do not do do-overs, guys. 3, 2, 1. It's Real Madrid. Disappointing, guys. I wanted it to be Valencia. But the 2nd team in Real Madrid wins the La Liga division and progresses to the last 4 of the entire competition. We have gone through 4 divisions one by one and found the 4 winners. On the left side of the bracket, it is the Italian division champion in Napoli versus the La Liga division champion in Real Madrid. And on the right side of the bracket, it is as random as it could possibly be. You have your Premier League division champion in Brighton and Hove Albion versus the Bundesliga division champion in Mainz. The left side of the bracket, Napoli versus Real Madrid semifinal. Who will go to the March Madness Football Edition final? 3, 2, 1. One match. Napoli! It's Lukaku again! Napoli! It is not Real Madrid! Napoli goes to the final! Brighton, the Premier League division winner, versus Mainz, the Bundesliga division winner. How did this happen? I don't know. You saw the video, you saw the results. 3, 2, 1. The winner, Mainz! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I think Brighton was the favorite in this one, guys. I'm genuinely shocked. I'm genuinely baffled. I can't believe Mainz is going all the way to the final. I guess this is March Madness for you. The most ridiculous things happen. We started with 64 clubs across the top 4 divisions of European football, and we are left with just 2. The Italian division winner in Napoli versus the German division winner and the right side of the bracket winner, FSV Mainz. There is Romelu Lukaku over the ball. Obviously, Napoli is in the blue and Mainz is in the red. Who expected Mainz to get here, guys? As a third seed. I understand that they're a third seed in the Bundesliga, but man, what a run it has been. Napoli, a second seed in Serie A. Maybe they could have got here this far. Maybe they were one of the candidates, I think, to make it deep as they have. But Mainz, for sure, this is a story of all stories, I think. As Mainz go forward. Mainz, it goes out wide. Mwene, Di Lorenzo intercepts. Politano now for Napoli. On the run. Lukaku in front of him. He'll dink it to Lukaku, and Lukaku could be in here, but Jens collects it. Da Costa into the midfield to Amiri. Amiri intercepted by Lobotka, and Lukaku is on the ball once again. Look for him to have a big impact in this game. Inside, McTominay. Kaishu slides in. Ooh, Scott McTominay, former Man United player, playing in a final, not with Man United. Mwene playing in a March Madness final. This is a big one. Mwene going all the way. Politano, Mainz throwing. Mwene to Nebel, one touch to Amiri. Dangerous for Mainz. Very dangerous. Kaishu, edge of the box. Kaishu bursts in, shot! Meret has to make a really good save, and Di Lorenzo will clear it out. First opportunity for Mainz. They're not backing down from the challenge. By far the underdogs here. Still 0-0 in the 33rd minute now. Kaishu operating in that midfield. Going through once again. Again from distance, and again Meret is there. Meret is 2 for 2 here. Politano. Overlapping by Di Lorenzo inside to Lukaku. Will he shoot? Yes, he will. Brilliant shot, brilliant save. The danger is not clear yet, though. Neres to Lobotka. It's Lobotka! Oh, was that in? Was that in? Apparently not. That bounced on the line and it went out. Mainz live to see another day. Mainz survived. The closest that any club has come so far, and it was from the foot of Lobotka. He hit the crossbar and it bounced out. It could have been, it should have been 1-0 Napoli, but it's not. Halftime is approaching. Burkhardt. I think halftime is going to be called. Yes, it is. Both teams had good opportunities, but no goals yet. Whew, what a final we're having here, guys. I'm still in shock that these are our last 2 finalists in our March Madness Football Edition competition. Napoli versus Mainz. This is insanity. I can't believe Brighton went to the last 4. I don't know how they did that either. Kaishu for Mainz. He's been very aggressive. He's been very good in the midfield, kind of carrying his team forward there. Anguissa. McTominay's been good. Romelu's been good. There goes McTominay to Lukaku. Lukaku. Zentner. That's pretty comfortable. And I think it's offside anyways. Yeah, it was offside. Gilmore is coming on. Billy Gilmore for Lobotka. And Mwene in the midfield to Amiri. There's Kaishu, the main man in that midfield so far for Mainz. The one that's been creating everything. Everything's going through him. Mainz is putting everything through Kaishu. Look at him go. Another one from Kaishu. Meret. Another save. And Mainz have a corner here in the 61st minute. In the box it goes. A good one. Too close to Meret. He'll come out and collect it. McTominay on the ball once again. Out wide it goes. One touch to Neres. One touch to Lukaku. Back to Lukaku it goes. Romelu Lukaku to David Neres. Back to Lukaku. Scott McTominay. Zentner. Sturdy and steady between the sticks. Bournemouth player on loan is coming on for Scott McTominay here. It is Philip Billing, and Mainz is making a triple change actually. Corner for Napoli. Politano in the box. McTominay. Lukaku! It is Romelu. We said, watch out, he's gonna have a big game. And there he is in the 68th minute. It is Romelu Lukaku that gives Napoli the lead here in the March Madness Football Edition final. A favorable bounce for his left foot, and he will not miss from there. 1-0 Napoli. As Mainz made the 3 changes, Napoli capitalized, and now Mainz have some work to do with not a lot of time left. Mainz need to get going. They really need to get going here. Gilmore out wide to Neres. Billing is making the run, the overlapping run, but Neres cannot find him. Lee Jae-sung will head it forward, but it is intercepted by Napoli. And Gisa in the midfield. Back he goes. Rahmani, Gilmore, Billing, Oliveira. He'll try and find Lukaku. Jens gets tall. Billing will get to that one, but he will lose it to Sieb. Nebel now. 85 minutes. Mainz has to get going. They need to go. Hong Hyun-suk on the ball. He doesn't have any options. No options for him. Neres. Gilmore to Neres to Lukaku. It could be curtains here for Mainz. Oh, Lukaku will lose the ball. It's now or never. Now or never. Panic mode for Mainz. They're going out forward really, really fast. Lee Jae-sung. They gotta go. You got 2 minutes. You have to go. Norden. Why are you going back, brother? What are you doing? You have to go forward. Play the ball forward. Nepal. Oh my gosh, you guys wasted time. Oh my gosh, Mainz, what are you doing? They wasted time. 64 clubs. We have the winner. The football edition March Madness winner. And it is the Italian side in Napoli, guys. Napoli. Did we expect Napoli to lift the football edition March Madness trophy? Probably not. But did we expect Mainz to be there? Also probably not. Did we expect Brighton to win the Premier League division? Also probably not. But obviously Napoli, they beat Real Madrid in the Final Four to get to this final. And here they are. Fully deserving, I would say. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed March Madness Football Edition. 64 clubs, 1 winner. It was Napoli. If you want to see this with national teams or with other leagues or something, please let me know. Comment your cool ideas down below. And if they are good, we'll be sure to do them. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Stay happy. Stay healthy. Always keep smiling, my friends. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, 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 peace. Love you as always. Peace.